Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're tearing into the 2026 science update on what is literally the most researched, heavily tested sports supplement on the entire planet. We're talking about creatine. But listen, we aren't just going to rehash that old bro science you hear floating around the locker room. No way. We're approaching this like elite sports scientists. We're going to break down exactly what's happening at the cellular level, what the absolute latest literature says about your brain, and how you can optimize both your physical and cognitive potential. All right, let's get right into it. Real quick though, before we dive into the hard data, I do need a huge favor from you. If you get value out of these deep dives, take just 1 second right now to rate, comment, and subscribe to this explainer. It tells the algorithm you want more evidence-based, no-nonsense science, and it helps us keep bringing this level of research directly to you. All done? Awesome. Let's head to science. I like to treat these explainers as a strict evidence-based training syllabus. So here's exactly what we're covering today. First, the ultimate energy currency. Second, unlocking peak physical performance. Third, creatine for brain health. Fourth, busting common creatine myths. And finally, optimal dosing and demographics. Section 1. The ultimate energy currency. To actually grasp what creatine does, we have to stop looking at it as some sort of magic muscle pill and start recognizing it for what it truly is, the fundamental engine of human cellular biology. And if you doubt just how powerful this engine is, check out this quote directly from the International Society of Sports Nutrition's position stand. They state definitively, creatine monohydrate is the most effective nutritional supplement currently available to athletes in terms of increasing high-intensity exercise capacity and lean body mass. That is elite, unshakable scientific authority right there. The ISSN doesn't just hand out that kind of praise lightly. It's earned through literally decades of repeated, peer-reviewed study. The secret to this whole engine lies in ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. This is your body's immediate energy currency. So when you do something super explosive, a heavy deadlift, a massive vertical jump, maybe a 40-yard sprint, your body demands ATP way faster than it can naturally supply it. And that's exactly where creatine steps in. See, your muscle cells store something called phosphocreatine. I want you to think of phosphocreatine as your emergency reserve tank. During those absolutely critical 0 to 10 second bursts of max effort, stored phosphocreatine rapidly donates a phosphate group to regenerate your ATP on the fly. It literally keeps your cellular engine redlining when it would normally just shut down. Moving into Section 2, unlocking peak physical performance. We know how this cellular engine works now, but how does that actually translate to tangible results on the field, or the track, or in the gym? Well, meta-analyses consistently demonstrate that creatine supplementation improves maximal strength, increases lean body mass, boosts repeated sprint performance, and enhances overall resistance training adaptations. But here is the absolutely crucial distinction you need to remember. Creatine doesn't just magically build muscle on its own. You don't just take a scoop and wake up jacked, right? Instead, creatine fuels higher training output. Because your reserve tank is topped off, you can squeeze out that one extra rep, you can handle more total training volume, and you can maintain your power output across multiple grueling sets. Over weeks, months, and years, that higher quality training compounds into massively greater physical adaptations. You're basically just giving your body the premium fuel to do the hard work required to grow. Section 3, creatine for brain health. Now, for decades, we've focused almost exclusively on skeletal muscle from the neck down. But guess what? Your brain is an absolute energy hog, and creatine is stored up there too. Emerging 2026 research shows creatine supplementation supports improved working memory, mental fatigue resistance, and incredible resilience against sleep deprivation. And researchers are even actively exploring its role in neuroprotection and healthy aging. The really crucial point here is that these cognitive upgrades become incredibly pronounced when you're under extreme mental stress or lacking sleep. When your brain is fatigued, it needs rapid ATP regeneration, just like a sprinting muscle does. Oh, and as a quick aside, vegetarians and vegans actually see massive cognitive baseline improvements when they supplement, simply because their regular dietary intake of creatine is much lower to begin with. It's truly a fascinating area of research. Section 4. Busting common creatine myths. It's time to clear the air. Despite being the single most heavily researched supplement on Earth, gym culture is still plagued by some incredibly outdated hurdles and misconceptions. First up is the classic myth that creatine causes kidney damage. Current evidence absolutely does not support this in healthy individuals using recommended doses. The confusion really happens because creatine supplementation naturally increases serum creatinine measurements in your blood, and creatinine is just a normal metabolic breakdown product. However, clinicians who might be unfamiliar with sports nutrition will see this elevated lab marker and immediately misinterpret it as a sign of kidney dysfunction. But as the ISSN conclusively states, there is zero compelling evidence that creatine negatively affects renal function in healthy people. It's basically a false alarm based on a misunderstood marker. All right, next myth. It causes dehydration and muscle cramps. The research completely flips this one on its head. Creatine is an osmolyte, which just means it draws water into your muscle cells. This actually supports deep cellular hydration. In fact, studies examining athletes training in extreme heat show that creatine users actually experience fewer muscle cramps, less dehydration, and reduced heat-related illnesses compared to non-users. You aren't getting dehydrated at all. Your cells are actually getting superhydrated. And the third major myth we see everywhere: creatine causes hair loss. Guys, this entire rumor stems from a single isolated study on rugby players way back in 2009 that showed increased levels of DHT, which is a hormone linked to hair loss. But listen closely to this. Hair loss itself was never actually measured in that study. More importantly, those findings have not been consistently replicated in the literature since. The current evidence simply does not establish that creatine causes hair loss. The data remains completely inconclusive, so please don't let this unfounded fear stop you from optimizing your performance. Section 5. Optimal dosing and demographics. We know the science, we know the benefits, so now let's build your exact playbook for how to actually implement this into your daily routine. According to the official ISSN dosing recommendations, you have a couple of options to saturate your muscle cells. The classic method is a rapid loading phase. That's 20 grams daily split into 4 5-gram doses for about 5 to 7 days. After that, you drop down to a maintenance phase of just 3 to 5 grams a day. Now, if you're a larger athlete with a ton of lean body mass, you might want to skew slightly higher. Alternatively, if you want to skip the loading phase entirely, you can just take 3 to 5 grams daily right from day one. It'll just take a few weeks longer to reach full cellular saturation. The absolute most important takeaway here is that timing doesn't really matter. Consistency does. Long-term adherence is what actually wins the game. So who should be taking it? Well, practically everyone. But let's highlight two massively underutilized populations. First up, female athletes. The research strongly suggests huge benefits for strength performance, lean mass retention, recovery, and, as we just discussed, brain health. Second, older adults. When paired with resistance training, creatine is an incredible tool for healthy aging, muscle preservation, and maintaining functional capacity so you can stay active and independent for decades. To wrap up the educational portion of this explainer, I really want to leave you with a clear picture. Creatine is endorsed by Olympic organizations, trusted by sports scientists, backed by strength researchers, and highly recommended by performance nutrition experts everywhere. It remains one of the safest, highest value, and most rigorously tested supplements in human history. Thank you so much for joining me to break down this amazing science today. If you're ready to upgrade your cellular engine with a premium, rigorously tested formula, click the link in the description to purchase CREA-LYTES. You'll get an exclusive 10% off your entire order when you use the code YouTube at checkout. Again, that's code YouTube for 10% off, and you can find that link right down in the description below. I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative question. Knowing what you know now about cellular energy, brain resilience, and compounded training adaptations, are you leaving your true physical and cognitive potential on the table? The evidence is incredibly clear. The protocol is dead simple. The rest is entirely up to you. Get out there, train hard, and I'll see you in the next explainer.